I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Fucking A.
Mommy, let me
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from I Hate Facebook, as for a film called Street Tales of Terror. Another film I'd never heard of. But if those interested in requesting any other type of reviews, or topics, or reactions, or re-reviews, or any other random type of paid request, feel free. You send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Street Tales of Terror is a very low-budget version of Tales from the Hood, and granted, you already had that with Tales from the Hood direct-to-video sequels, and I would say even those are better than this. This is more in the vein of Tales of the Quad Zone, if you don't know that winner. It's very, even though this is 2004, it looks like a cheap $10 direct-to-video made for VHS movie from the 90s. With the film quality and how cheap it looks. As they call it, shot on shitio. The whole film was shot on shitio. And the setup is these three hoods, they make a drug deal, and the guy goes, "You're short," as in you're short on the cash. The three of them shoot these two people. And they do weird editing in this film. Like when they're shooting the person, they freeze frame. And then they do up close to each person in a freeze frame. And then it like goes to white, or kind of white, when the gunshot happens. From time to time, this weird type of editing happens. And I guess it's their way of being fancy. And these three hoods, I mean, there's nothing to them. There's two guys and a girl. They say lines like, "Man, you are so light you blow away." Can this movie blow me? So after they kill the dealers, they find this homeless guy. They're ready to kill the homeless guy, but the homeless guy goes, "Hey, I'll tell you some stories." And even though they've killed some people, someone could have heard the gunshots, the cops could be on the way, they decide to sit down and listen to some random homeless guy tell a couple stories. Just because. Now, the homeless guy, I would say he's the best actor in the movie. He's still not that great, but it's a low-rent version of Clarence Williams III from Tales from the Hood. I was ready for the homeless guy to say, "The shit! Yeah, the good shit!" I mean, one of the more memorable things is his T-shirt. Fuck, I say that now. I can't remember what the T-shirt says. I remember the homeless face T-shirt saying something kind of funny about you're stupid every day. How about you make today an exception or something like that. I guess it shows how much I give a shit about this movie that I don't remember. Like the one thing I liked about was some guy's T-shirt. So the three stories, one is called The Reckoning. Long story short, this little girl who can act is friends but not friends with these other girls who can act. And the girls who can act tell the lead who can act pretty much, hey, we're tired of you tattletale and we're tired of you telling people you Mrs. Goody Two Shoes. The lead little girl that can act, her cousin had died and she's having a conversation with her mom. Would you cry if I die? You know, all those great pieces of dialogue. So the girls go to a pool and the bully girl who can act, the lead girl who can act, into the fucking pool, and the pool is about as big as this room. That's how big the pool is. And just the way the director has these girls having to struggle with this other girl, that it would take you 10 seconds to just walk across the pool because it's a very small, tiny pool. I've seen hot tubs bigger than this pool. And we can't lift her, and we get her. And it looks like you just stand up even on the deep end and get to hear on a 10-year-old girl. So they get her there, they put her on to the surface. One of the girls says, oh, I can hear a heartbeat, but then they leave her, and I guess, she dies. Okay. Stop slowing. See, even my webcam doesn't want me to talk about the movie. It's slowing down for some reason. In my webcam's like... Believe me, I know it's that bad of a movie, webcam, but just bear with me. So now it's 20 years later, and those little girls are grown up, they're going to college. And one of them grown up who has glasses sees the girl that died before. She says that she's going to come back and kill us as revenge. The way it's shot, there are times someone's on a phone call and you hear a humming sound in the background. That cuts to the person over there, you don't hear anything. So they definitely... I mean, I'm not one to talk, but you know what? I don't have a budget. Because I'm not making a movie. I think it's one thing if it's just a video for YouTube to watch for free. Not something that people to pay money for. Because that's usually the consensus of movies. You want people to pay for them so you get a profit. But I guess someone gave up because it's one of those films upload for free on YouTube. They're like, shit, no, I guess no one really wants to pay money for this. Okay, I guess we'll give it for free on YouTube. And people still feel ripped off. Because the acting is bad, the production values are shoddy, the sound is wonky. Again, some scenes there's a humming sound, some scenes they're not. Some scenes the dialogue you can barely hear. And sometimes you wonder, well, what did they have a microphone in the scene? The way the plot is done, like the mom goes see, she goes to little girl's grave, but it's a tombstone that looks like in the middle of a forest. I'm like, you can't shoot for 5 minutes in a real graveyard? You could steal the shot. I think there's one tombstone and like a bunch of again, looks like middle of the Slender Man's forest. So, of the three girls, they start getting killed. One gets drowned in her sink. One gets electrocuted in her hot tub, and the ghost of the little girl throws a boombox, and you have this really poorly done electrical visual. Then the third girl, that seems like they're trying to do some kind of redemption arc where, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go and admit what happened and apologize, which you think that's the reason the little girl showed herself to her first, but no. Mom stabs her in the back. Tomato sauce, looks like tomato sauce comes out of that lady's mouth, and the mom and the dead little girl, they hug. And I'm sitting there going, okay, there's two more stories after this, great. It's a film that's not scary, it's not funny, it's not suspenseful. You don't get much gore, so even if you're going for that, it's poorly acted, at times poorly lit, and cheap. Again, it looks like one of those shot on Shio films from the 90s, made on VHS. So then you have the clinic, where this lady wants to get an abortion. She goes to the clinic. At times, you get this ugly slow motion, like when she goes off to the back and a bunch of people turn. It's slow motion to the fact that even the sound goes in slow motion. Like the hum, even that goes in slow motion. You hear normal, then as they turn slow, the sound goes in slow. I mean, your scary scenes is one of those mannequin things that a doctor has that shows the insides of a person. That bleeds. Then it unbleeds. How terrifying! A mannequin bled, then it unbled. And the look on her face is like someone farted. Like she doesn't know if she wants to laugh or cry. It's like someone farted in an elevator. So then she has dreams. A doctor getting a needle. Oh, acts like he acts like he has an orgasm. Oh, that wasn't for you, that was for me. And then he's taking out organs, which I guess that would be the goriest part of this whole movie. Then another dream, because I guess this character had an abortion in the past. A 5-year-old kid in whiteies with a little bit of blood on him wanders around and keeps saying how I want to go back inside. And so you have the lady with a leg spread, you have this little boy, blood, with dirty, tidy whiteies, and you have like her skirt, and obviously I did an easy cheating where, okay, kid, you go over here to mimic going back up her. Dirty D's done dirt cheap. She wakes up. The doctor goes, okay, let's get ready. She's like, nah, I changed my mind. She dresses back up, and we see bloody handprints on her back. Now, is that to tell us, oh, this really did happen, it wasn't just a dream? She had a baby inside her, so if she don't have twins, did the other kid go back inside her? Or is that kid's soul going to be in her stomach? Or was just, hey, I'm going to give you a wake-up call and scare the shit out of you. And here's a reminder that you're going to find out later, yep, it was real. It was real, bitch. I did give a rat's ass. Then we get to the third story, which feels like the longest, is easily the most drawn out. Where once again it becomes a haunted, ghost story. And I guess even the second story you could say is kind of the haunting of the baby that was aborted. I mean, can you have any difference? Even Tales from the Hood, it's like they did a little bit of different types of story. Like one with the little dolls, the other with it's a monster, but it's a take on abuse. Can you have like a creature feature story, or I don't know, a fucking alien story, or a monster story, or a doll story? Like, it must be called Haunting Tales from the Street. It takes place in 1975, supposedly, and we're told this, and then one person has kind of a haircut from that day and age, but you'll easily forget that this is supposed to be 1975. Three guys sneak into a girl's dorm, they party, drink beer, and then they start playing cards. Then one guy tells the girl, "Shut up, bitch," and starts raping her, and everybody else just nonchalantly walk. Oh, they're fine, even though they're 2 feet away. And then, yeah, rape scenes are awful and terrible, but you're not going to feel any of those words watching this because it's done fast forward like this Benny Hill, and then the freeze frames. It just comes off as ridiculous. It comes off as silly. It comes off as goofy. Because when you're thinking of the Benny Hill music, and then after that, I guess she told. I don't know the whole deal. She doesn't tell who all was there, but maybe she told what happened to her. So she gets expelled, but no one else does. I don't know, I just think that a college, even in 1975, would have handled things differently, but maybe I'm being naive. So because she gets expelled, she is humiliated and she decides to hang herself. And again, the editing, like this maintenance guy finds her and the way it's edited, and also the music in this film is god awful. There are times it just sounds like if someone played a keyboard that was broken. A broken keyboard soundtrack. That's a lot of this movie. So a spirit kills some folks, and it's pretty much this couple goes to a room, guy's found dead, boom, girl gets her neck cracked. That happens again with another couple who was there that night. The only notable thing is one of them has a mask that looks like the Crypt Keeper. It literally looks like the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt. One guy who raped her is taking a shower. He comes out, and you see a swipe, and then he sees blood on the towel near his crotch. Then it cuts away, and then later on, it's sometime later, and a new group of kids are looking at this college. One wanders off, and it's the spirit of the girl. I just get into her dorm. The end of that story. And then the end of the movie is the homeless guy. He says some stuff, and a bunch of zombies come out of nowhere. Now, I could imagine, like, okay, the people they killed, but all these, like, 50. Like, where did okay, the 2 you killed, if they came back as zombies, that would make sense. Where did the other 48 zombies come from? I guess this homeless guy just has an army of zombies in his back pocket. Even the way the hoodlums get killed. One gets dragged to the ground, and the homeless guy hits him, and we don't see anything. We just see the homeless guy. Imagine there's a camera do this to the camera. It's like, oh, he killed the camera. The lady of the 3 gets impaled. Is one of the worst impalings you'll see, because you could tell. Okay, imagine this is the person. Now imagine Oh, I'm impaling them. Don't you see I'm impaling them? That's how the impaling goes. Oh, you see I'm impaling them, yeah? See this Blu-ray case? My finger is totally going through this Blu-ray case. And again, he just comes off as a low-rent Clarence Williams III. So it just... bad acting, bad production values, shit visuals, terrible editing, a broken keyboard soundtrack, sound mixing that sometimes you hear humming, sometimes you don't, barely any gore if you're going for that, and not even much of variety. I mean, I guess the second story, because it deals with abortion, just go watch Tales from the Hood. I mean, I did not like Tales from the Hood sequels. I'd probably put them above this, but just at least their production is a little bit higher quality compared to this. They don't look like something made on Shitio in the 1994. I mean, you Tales from the Quad Zone is still the number one worst of that, but I mean, Creepshow 3 is more memorable in being bad. This is just a lazy production. Very lazy, haphazard, clunky, cheap. That's the best word to describe it. Cheap. It's a cheap production. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.